Welcome, everybody. I have one of my dear friends as a guest today. But before we get started with Christy, I want to remind you all to head over to the turquoiseirisjournal.com. If you're not subscribed to our beautiful journal, it's more like a book. So consider a gift for a friend, a girlfriend, a mom, a daughter, a brother, whomever. But check it out. I really think you're going to enjoy our summer volume. The focus word is engage. And I think that in itself with the creative community is highly important to kind of focus on. Plus, there are several features in there that are going to give you some how-tos and some what-tos and all the things. Christy, how are you today?
I'm just great. Happy to be here, Miss Dionne. Thank you very much.
I've missed seeing your face and your hair's getting a little longer. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love it so much. Well, Christy was featured inside our spring volume of the Turquoise Iris Journal. So be sure if you're listening today that you kind of scroll down to the description and in the notes and you see her links. Please give her the love and support that she so deserves. I'm going to let her introduce herself because, well, it would just, your description might be mine's going to be all mushy and sentimental. And I can do that after you do it. But tell everybody where you are and a little bit about what you do, Christy.
Okay, so I am Christy Skinner. I am in Corpus Christi, Texas currently. I say that because hoping to maybe move again sometime. I feel like if I start planting seeds, maybe the universe will make it happen. So yeah, we're in Corpus Christi, Texas. Been here for I think about 5 years now, and so I currently have an art studio called the House of Christy, and yeah, I'm really actually kind of working my way out of my brick and mortar and planning to do an online business and kind of do the same things that I do and bring them to workshops live with people wherever, just kind of doing it in different ways. I really like the idea of being able to connect with people on a much bigger scale and a variety of people and find those people wherever they are and not just be limited to just a studio space here and that taking all my time. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm working on.
That's what she's working on, and she's working very hard on that. There's a lot there to unpack. But aside from that, Christy and I met several years ago, and she's come to several of my retreats. She's been a blessing to the creative community. She's helped and immersed herself in this community that we're so much in love with. And she's come to my home and done some photography and video. And it's all a lot, isn't it, Christy? Like overall, it's a lot, isn't it? It's a lot to learn.
It is. It's a lot to learn, and it's just a lot sometimes to even just think that we're worthy of dedicating that kind of time to it. I feel like we're
Yes.
just kind of accustomed to think that other things are more important and art isn't as much. And so I think it's important we have to initiate those things and make ourselves do them, or we'll have reasons why not to.
It's so true. There's so many things that can interfere. There's so many hiccups. There's so many obstacles that could interfere. But do you recall the time that you decided that your art could become a business, that you could actually create a House of Christy? Or do you remember that time or what kind of shift happened in you that you wanted to not just paint, but actually create a business?
Ay, ay, ay. So I guess I kind of always had like an entrepreneurial spirit about myself, and I've done different things through the years, and as we've moved to different places, I've done different things. But I think this last go around and where I really got serious about my art was just knowing that I guess just what it did for me personally and knowing that there are other women and seeing, I guess, other women in your community of women, even in other artist communities that I've been in, just recognizing that there's a need. I mean, that this truly feeds our souls, and we need to tend it. We need to nurture our
Mhm.
creativity, and that just became really important to me. And realizing that it can help people. You don't have to be talented. You don't. to create and to get the benefits of creating. And so that really just drove me to
Yeah.
start on this path to kind of suck others in, because I feel like when they start to play and just allow themselves to play, things can shift mentally and really make a huge difference for somebody's well-being. I just don't think the art part, like I like to create nice art and sell art like any other person, but
Yeah.
to me, that's like kind of the least important part of it all. And that's what I really want to bring to other people.
Have you always had that service part of your heart so exposed? Has that always been who you are, Christy?
I think so. And I have just, gone about it in different ways. As my kids were younger, I kind of gave that to everyone else, maybe in a different capacity other than, making the cheerleading posters and whatever. I mean, I was a manicurist. I did some nail art through the years and did some mural work for people. So that kind of kept things, I guess, going as I but there was more of a dabbling in it. And, other things were my priority. So I served like through our church. Things like that. So now I feel like I'm just in a new phase. I'm older than 50 now. And so, yeah, so I've just kind of revamped my whole idea of who I want to serve and how I want to serve and how I want to live out this second half of life. And so it looks a little different now. And yeah, I want to do that in a more creative aspect, I suppose.
And it's time for Christy to take care of Christy.
Right, right. And it took me a long time to really be okay with that. And I mean, I still have to work on coaching myself that it's okay and it's not selfish to take care of yourself. And that's just another huge message that, I really want to help other women to really get that it is okay to make ourselves a priority and our well-being. It's not about being selfish and spending all of the money on myself or in that capacity. It's truly about your well-being. Yeah.
Absolutely. For you and for me and so many others, art literally is our therapy, and it's not just a cliche. It helps us go through certain times in our life. And that was really highlighted during the pandemic when everything
Hmm.
was shut down, and all of the creative people who were actively creative knew what to do. Oh,
Right.
this is what we do. We sit down, we turn, we can help others who don't create. We can show them everything's going to be okay. This is what we can do during this time. Did you find yourself really elevated during that time of creating more than you ever had before?
Absolutely. And that was the time when I really, really started deep diving into what this is going to look like for me and what I can be doing. That's the time that I found you and came to my first workshop with you. And what year was that even? Like 20,
2020.
2020?
That was 2020. We pushed it back a little bit. We pushed it back 6 months thinking, oh, we'll be fine in 6 months. We'll just push it back because that was supposed to be in April of 2020. We pushed it back to October. And so that was the first time I met you. You had on your leopard sweater and your big B earrings and your wrap on your head. And I immediately loved you. Immediately
Oh,
loved your charisma and your kind of energy that was so eager to learn, but was also just so eager to be a part and to be accepted, and to also just, what can I do for you all? Like, you've always, you walked in with open arms of like, I'm very vulnerable and I will be that for you and with you. And what can I do for you? Like, that's what I remember about you from the very beginning.
that's so nice. And I'm so thankful for you. It's nice that you remember that because I think I was so nervous. I don't remember half of it. I was just so nervous. But because I had to really push myself out of my little introvert box to be able to go and do that. But that was just a whole period of just a massive kind of me digging my heels in the ground. Like, I'm worthy and I'm going to do this. I'm talented enough. I'm worthy enough to do whatever it is. I didn't even have any idea of what it's going to look like, but I have just, it's
Yeah.
I've been at a turtle pace, but I've continued to move with forward momentum. And I don't know that I think it just made a huge difference in what I've been able to do for myself to have been seen like I was from you, from Michelle, from just the group of women that were there and also vulnerable and just authentic. And I know that that was a life-changing experience for myself, but also for probably most of the women there. It was just incredible. And I don't know that we always get to know or realize how much we affect others and what a true difference that we can make in the trajectory of somebody else's life by simply being kind and looking them in the eyes and letting them know I see you. I
Right.
mean,
You're so right. And opening up your own vulnerabilities. And that's what happens at some of these retreats, all of them retreats, all of them. You've been to multiple ones after that.
mhm, mhm,
So that's how we've had an opportunity to spend so much time together. The vulnerability is kind of like, okay, here I am for the next 4 days. Like this is me. Um,
mhm,
you know, I do believe that we can put out the energy that we expect to receive. And
mhm.
so having that expectation, being very firm in it with it when we're at a retreat. But also, I got to watch you just in your zone. Like I got to watch you put it in your zone and like paint and do your thing and wear your art clothes. And I'm just, people gravitate towards you because that was one thing that you would not um, be able to, you can't rock this part of Christy because fashion, style, design, that's also a part of kind of who you are. Like, yourself. You know yourself in that element, right?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I just, and that's something I've not always had a lot of confidence in. And, because people are super judgmental and just assume a lot of things when they don't know you. And I used to feel like, gosh, like, I don't know. I've just decided, like I said, to just kind of try to really shift my mindset about a lot of things. And I'm like, if I want to I like pretty things. I like pretty. I like to make other people pretty or to feel good about themselves. Or I've used to always say people, places, and things pretty. And I'm like, I'm going to own that now. Like, I just think it's fun and it can contribute so much. Beauty can contribute to your life. And like, I'm happy to share thoughts and ideas and things with other people. And I just think it's important. Makes me feel good.
You being authentic to you is that key piece of what you just said, right? Like, no matter what anyone else thinks, that, like, we know that's about them, not about you. So I love to see you just leaning all the way into the things that are authentic and true to you. Let's go rewind all the way back to little Christy.
Okay.
Okay. So when Christy was 9, 10, 11, 12, what did you plan on growing up to be? What did you aspire to do when you grew up?
It's kind of funny. It was absolutely an artist. I think I knew that when I was
Yeah.
5.
I love
Yeah,
that.
and I had this whole idea that I was going to, this is funny, I was going to live by myself in a big open loft, like art studio in New York somewhere, because in my mind that's the only place I could think of where that was, I guess.
Yeah.
And it was just, I don't know why I was going to need to be alone, but I was going to live in this big, beautiful space by myself and just create art.
I love that. I really don't ever hear that. I mean, I don't hear that very often that the people that I have on here interviewing that art was something.
Yeah.
Yes, people knew they were creative. Like you may have had a parent that really nurtured that and saw that in you and, gave you supplies and the things that you needed, which is wonderful to your parents. But also, I think I probably would have also thought if I had a New York, like if I needed a loft, it was going to be New York. And I probably looked in magazines and that's where I
Yeah.
saw them, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I love this. And I know
Yeah.
you love books as much as I do. Just
Yes.
kind of absorbing all design and all style and fashion as well. But you live in Oklahoma and Texas. That's where you've
Hmm.
lived and other areas too, right?
Hmm. In Kansas. Yep.
Yes. So far from New York, but
Yep.
you've immersed yourself into that. So what would be your favorite project to date that you've worked on? What
Oh
kind of
gosh.
favorite project?
Art wise?
Yeah,
Yeah.
art-wise.
Well, um, goodness. So that would have to be the program that I have been going through, which is just kind of I don't know how you say it all short and sweet, but it's an intentional creativity, is what she calls it, intentional creativity program through this Musea organization. I've been working at this for, I think it's almost, I'm about to wrap up 9 months. It's over the end of July. And so
Congrats.
it's been quite the project. And I have painted, I believe it's five main, like big paintings throughout this time in that. And I haven't even really shared those much with people yet because I'm not sure I want to do it. I kind of want to have like a show and an exhibit.
Okay.
So I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. But anyway, it's just that has been a tremendous project. I think probably my biggest accomplishment to date personally to stick that out. It's taken me through just a lot of internal work, which is interesting because you think you've done the work and then you find out like, oh, there's more that can be done, like that refinement process, and but it's kind of cool because I'm learning how to do that through a better voice instead of a critical voice, and that's a game changer.
I would say yes, absolutely. Now, you signed up for this. You went all in on this intentionally with the hopes of deepening your creativity, being, more wise, mindfulness, creatively. But what else is the plan? What else would you like to see develop from you going through this 9-month program that's changing your life, really?
Right, it really is. And, it's just like everything else. I have those moments of doubt where you're like, oh my God, I don't know. Can I really do this? Can I really make this, this special for other people? But yeah, that's the plan, is to make it very special and share these things with other people and forms of workshops or online courses, things like that. However, I can reach, the people who are interested in doing it. It doesn't have to be, it's not like a 9-month program for everyone. I can do like workshop versions of specific topics to about any topic. You can do like a 13-step painting process. And I did one last night with my mom and my daughter. And, it's truly just about the process. And then whatever the art is at the end, just like any other intuitive painting, that's just kind of a reflection of whatever you did. But the work is the internal work, and I just can't wait to share that with other women because I think it's transformative. I just think it just transforms the way you think, the way you believe, if you take it seriously.
And because I know you, I can say this, I think, um, your desire to help other women is probably what pushed you through this all the way, is to
Mhm.
knowing that you can make a difference, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
think that I think that Facebook, being a part of Facebook, has really shown me that people are very much desperately wanting to be seen, to be heard, to be validated. I mean, it's like post after post, and so I started paying attention to that, and I'm like, well, how can I serve that? How can I serve that, in like a positive way?
mhm.
And I think that it comes down, like, a lot of us struggle, and we struggle with being steady with our art. And I think, and it's like, and you have seen me go through the ups and the downs, and just personally struggling. And I'm like, what is this? Why can't I overcome this? I know better. I know the things. I read the books, and I think it comes down to knowing your self worth. I think that that's very important. You got to get that figured out. What's causing the problem there? Like you have taught us to do the practices in the mirror of, standing there and positive affirmations and loving yourself. And can you look yourself in the face and tell yourself that I love you? And if you can't, there's something there that needs some work. And I was doing the work, but this intentional creativity process, like I said, showed me that I still needed a lot more work. And when
Mhm.
I started setting with those incredible paintings that I would spend hours and hours on and could truly see myself in them and
Yeah.
love that painting, taught me to love myself. And I guess on a greater level, I didn't realize how I was still fragmented there. So. Kind of long story. Sorry.
No, it's not long story. No, honey, I love all of it. Um, I think it's
I want
important.
to bring those thoughts to people that I feel like maybe if they feel like they need a little work and a little help, I want to show them ways that maybe we can look at that and in a positive light and, maybe just start to make shifts towards a different way of talking to ourselves. Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, it's kind of fascinating, isn't it, that artwork on a canvas from your own hands with your passion and your mind, I mean, I can't wait to see the artwork personally. I can't wait for your exhibition. I've been trying to make it down to Corpus Christi for a long time. Um, but it's really fascinating that you can heal and go through these steps by step through artwork. And it doesn't have to necessarily be paint. It can be
Right.
different forms of art. It can be the same
Absolutely.
concept, right? The same concept that you're learning that you want to in turn teach can be with any art form, correct?
It can be crayons. I'm literally
Yep.
going to probably tell people I don't care if you need to get an Amazon box out of the garage. Like, let's put some paint on it, crayons, whatever you've got, whatever you can get a hold of. Absolutely. The therapy is there. It doesn't matter if you're using mud. Like, it's just cool to do something with your hands and to process that visually. You're bringing things outside of yourself that you didn't even know were there. So,
Yeah, you mentioned the House of Christy, which is a brick and mortar that you opened a couple of years ago. Um, has it been 2 years? It's been 2 years.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you opened that, and I'm just curious about, like, you're shifting, you're changing, and you mentioned in the very beginning that that may not continue to be a thing because you want to develop in different ways, and you want to be able to come to people and do online and in-person events that don't keep you there at the brick and mortar. But I also know there are parts of that brick and mortar that you truly love that kind of
Mhm.
were the catalyst for this development. Because if you hadn't gone
Absolutely.
into brick and mortar and spent time doing that and wondering, like, do I love this? What do I love about this? And what were your favorite parts of what are your favorite parts of doing the brick and mortar, the House of Christie? Because I know there are some really favorite things there.
Yeah, yeah, I've been struggling to give that up because it's funny. Again, it kind of some of it comes back to the pretty thing because I spent a lot of time just getting the space to look
Yeah.
just exactly how I want it to look and to feel exactly how I want it to feel. And literally I've done that with a lot of it's just been junk I've picked up on Marketplace or, wherever. I don't think, things don't have to be, you don't have to spend the most money to bring that feeling into something. And so I've done a good job of just picking things from here and there, putting things together, throwing some paint on things, whatever, and just creating a really comfortable environment for people where they just feel good. I've had so many people come in and be like, oh my God, this place, it just feels so good in here. And
Mhm.
that's what you want, I think, above anything is you want people to feel good. And so I like to appeal to people's senses. I like for it to smell a certain way. I want you to see pretty things. Just things that make you feel good. I want there to be snacks because like I can't live my life without snacks. So
And
there's snacks to
yeah,
share.
it's in a creating an experience. So when someone's belly's full, they can relax. When they smell something, they can relax. And the whole
Yeah.
point of being in your space is for it to be an escape away from maybe, a couple of hours away from home, like wherever it is, it's this immersive escape. And what you're learning to do is teach someone to find that no matter where they are, what's going
Absolutely.
on in life, where they live, where they're going, but to be able just to create that from within, no matter where they are.
Yeah, exactly. And just to feel that sense, I think that we don't take the time enough to be present, just to calm down, just like to chill out and be present. And creating art intuitively kind of forces you to be present. And it takes people usually about 30 minutes, 20, 30 minutes to be able to even become present and let go of all of the da 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 that we carry around with us nonstop. So seeing people come into that peaceful place
Mhm.
and then like they're in their zone. I mean, that's what I'm addicted to. I'm just like, yes, whenever you can tell when people are just enjoying themselves. And that's that's the best part. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. I can't wait to see what happens and what develops. What kind of dream collaboration what do you dream about collaboration? Who, where, what? What do you see happening and what's the dream? I want to support that. I want everyone to
Oh,
know about it too.
oh my gosh. You know, it's so funny. I went to this event in North Carolina about month and a half ago, and it was really interesting. But I got invited to a really charismatic church with my friend who I met there,
Okay.
and I had this guy prophecy pray over me, which was like, wowza. That was an incredible experience. And he recorded it and told me to, when I got home, to write it out and be thinking about this. And he was praying over some really scary stuff, like about how he saw me going and doing these big things and being on a stage. And I was like, no, you don't. That
Oh
is
no,
wrong.
wrong lady, wrong lady.
It was just so crazy. So but it was so sweet because it was just such an incredible experience because I just have all along been hearing this voice of, you got to get out there, you got to do more, you got to do more from you, from internally. And I've like tried my hardest to be like, no, not yet. No, I'm not ready. No, can't be, and now I'm just kind of like, all right, I'm biting this bullet. If I get invites, I'm going. Like, I'm just going to have to figure it out because I
Right.
don't want to, I really want to know, like, I want God to be able to say, well done, and like that I used the resources that He gave me
Mhm.
to help others. And I probably am never going to be able to do that perfectly, and I'm just going to have to be okay with that. So, yeah, I hope one day I get to work with Dionne Woods. I would love to work with her in some capacity. And I don't know, I just want to really be open uh, to what's around me and just try to be brave and ask other people if I can join them. It will be a new for me. I don't have a background that I can be like, hey, I've been doing this for 10 years. And so it's going to take a little trust and faith, I think, on both ends. But I think I can bring something good. Um, to just, I don't know, just to, I'm not exactly sure who all, but definitely in the creative. I want to speak to the
Yeah.
creative women who still maybe struggle in whatever way, to just feel free to be themselves.
Right. Because if you can, they can.
Right,
If you
right.
can,
I think we all want personal freedom in some capacity.
I think so too, Christy. I'm very excited. I've been very thrilled to be on this journey with you and watching you kind of take one step each year out of your own way and clear the path. You've gotten out of your own way a little bit more each year and
Yes.
confidence for you to stand up taller. And I always like Chrissy gonna have a theme song. Like Chrissy's gonna walk in and it's gonna be, I've talked to you about like she's got on this pantsuit and she's got this theme song. It's like dun 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 dun, dun. And then it's like here she comes in and that's not necessarily the vibe, but that's you clearing the way because it's gonna have to be really loud to get you out of your own way.
Right. And it's like, I'm like, I've had all of these really cool thoughts. I could probably write a book. I've wrote so much stuff over the last year, but it's just like, it's like, I really want to shine the light on the path for others, for them to walk their own path, not mine, not yours, just to walk their own path. And I want to be able to shine the light. But then I'm like, okay, I've had to really visit shining the light on my own path first. Like, it's like that putting your air thing, your oxygen mask on first kind of thing. It's like we got to take care of us so we can take care of others. And I'm just really excited to be able to just love and encourage women in this way. Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
You're welcome. Talk to me a few minutes about the journal, about being in print and being published in the magazine. How did that feel when you opened the pages of the journal and saw you in there?
Yeah. So there's the critic voice. I'm like, oh, I should have put that. Oh, I could have made that picture. Yeah, so stupid, right? So no, I just mostly, I mean, beyond, I'm picking my space apart, whatever. I'm like, okay, I just was grateful to get to be in there and just honestly to be able to represent somebody just trying to play an art, and that you're willing to let me be a part and to share my thoughts with women in that way. I don't know. I mean, I just think it's just a fun experience and just really an honor to get to be in any publication. And I mean, yours is kind of where it all started, so it's like I just really feel gratitude for that. And it is more like a book, so it's definitely a magazine to treasure. They're on my shelf with my books. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
I think a lot of people would really benefit from just sitting down again, being present, and just kind of living vicariously through the other people and letting that inspire them to play however they want to play.
Well, if you're like me, that's what you did. Your entire lifetime is live vicariously through the other people that were featured. And when I started the magazine, Christy, I'd never been featured in a magazine. And I guess I kept waiting for my shot, waiting for my time. Well, it didn't happen. So I just gonna do it myself. And a lot of my business and a lot of my life has been that way.
Right?
There's no easy shot. There's no lucky chance. It's just been, okay, I'll do it myself and I'll do the best I can. And I'll expose all of my vulnerability while I do it because I'm just a person
Right.
learning. And when you say that you started critiquing yourself, I knew you were going to do that. And you
Which
said,
is why you didn't let me see the pictures before time. I was like, ah, there was the Roomba thing, whatever it is, the vacuums. It was in the room. Oh my goodness.
they're real people with real stories and real heart.
Have
We
Roombas.
and Zumbas. And the thing is, the part where you said, "I'm just trying to do this. I'm trying to do that," sister. You're doing it. You're doing all of it. It's up to you how much you expose and how much you unfold and how much you expose in that unfolding on when we get to see it. But I know for me, this is 2024, and I've been here the whole time in the last 4 years. But I feel like this feature inside the Turquoise Iris Journal might be the first of several features.
Oh, thank you.
See other publications picking you up. I want you out there. I want you loud. I want you immersing yourself in different communities because if this, I know you feel the exact same way. This idea was planted in your heart for a reason, and we
Yeah.
need we need you to get it out there, don't we?
Yes, we do. Thank you so much, Dionne.
Oh my goodness, I
Yeah,
love
you've
you.
always been the best, just the greatest encouragement. And truly, I know I couldn't be where I am without you. Yeah.
Oh, honey, please, you're doing all the work, but I am grateful that you came on here with me today and that you did this podcast and um, allowed us to just kind of hear your voice and hear your heart because sometimes you just can't see that on a page or in words or through a photograph. But you can definitely hear your passion through this podcast. So thank you, Christy. And I want to thank everybody for listening. I want to remind everybody to please scroll down to the description and go like and follow Christy. Now, if they want to get on your radar and work with you at this point, how should they communicate with you, Christy?
Well, there is, I have my website is thehausofchristy.com. Email is House of Christy, at Gmail.
Yeah,
It's a
you know.
Gmail. Okay. So, but it is House is Haus. That's the thing that I think kind of throws people off. Haus, and then Christy is Christy. And yeah, so I've got email there. My phone number's there. It's all there on my website.
Okay, wonderful. This was fun, right? Easy schmeezy?
Easy schmeezy. So much fun.
Easy schmeezy. So much fun. Everybody, thank you so much for being on here and loving on my friend Christy. And I will talk to you really soon.
Okay, dear. Thank you. Bye.